Hey, so I'm Karis and I'm going to explain through the different sessions for the final video for the birds. So this session is the one that we bounced the video from. That's the only difference from version 6 to version 5. This one isn't the one I'm going to talk through just because version 4 has all of the editing still visible in it. The main difference with this session is that we've got a final fade here at the end that we don't have in the 4th version. It also has the final levels, and I will show you that in the mix window here. So this is the mix window for the session. It's got all the different levels with the naming of these sessions. All of these are still ADR for small. It's just when I've edited it, which we'll see in the the version that I'll talk through in detail, you'll be able to see where I got that from. So a lot of these ones that have multiple double ups, we've just had to balance the levels. Cool. So we'll go to the old session, which has all of the editing in it. Save just to be safe. Okay, so now we're in the 4th version. So this is the one which I did all of the final editing into it. The ones previously just were mainly the recording sessions. To our detriment, we all of the location markers in this session are ones that I've had to put in after the recording. We had a session that had all of the spots markers, which we have a spotting list from, but we didn't download it when we did our recording session, and it was just easier to keep working in this session. I am going to bring up this hidden track here, and I'm going to drag that up to the top just so I can show you something. So this is the audio for the Squeaking Birds one, which we can see below. All that's different is we've done a lot of editing to Squeaking Birds. So I just wanted to show you this one. It's a water bottle. So it's a metal water bottle, which then it has a rubber seal on the lid, and there was a squeaking sound, so we just decided to record it and see what we could do with it. So that's that track there, and now this is the edited version. So we went into varispeed. I watched a video by White Sea Studio. They showed all the different versions of elastic audio, and we put it into varispeed originally, and we pulled it all the way out so that it had a really low sound. So varispeed is kind of like tape in the way that it's like you've pulled tape while it's been playing and it kind of messes with it. So we did that, and I was listening through it and trying to find a really cool moment that we could use into the final video, and that got used for all of these squeaking sounds here. So I'm just going to solo these so we can listen to it and you can hear what happens in the video. So it was first used for this small birds, and they're doing morning sounds. So it would help if I checked my playback engine. Nope, that's all right. Cool. I just forgot to turn on the speakers. That would do it. Smart. So that's what it sounds like in this video, but we're just gonna show a few things in the elastic properties. So each of these have been changed in pitch. So we shifted it up a semitone, this one. Let's see, this one is down 5. This one is up 2. And then This one is, let's see, down 1, and I don't know whether this one has any on it. No, that one's normal. So the reason that it is in polyphonic is we had to commit to the varispeed one, and then we could change it to polyphonic, and then we could shorten it back up so it was a reasonable length for a bird making noise. So that is how we did that. It also got used in the ADR for the large bird. Did I accidentally hit the one that actually has sound in it? Well done. So, that one, the track that's inactivated is just the one that I did the initial editing on. Here, as you can see, zooming in, I had to cut it all up because I couldn't get, a time didn't suit for me and the voice artist for it. So he recorded it on his phone. It was an iPhone, and he sent it to me, and I just cut out all of the noise I didn't want. So there was a lot of white noise in there and other people. So I'm gonna hide that track over here. Cool. So it also got used here, this water bottle, and it was because in the original clip there is a sound which warns the birds, and it makes sense because the little birds start looking up. So I forgot that I had things soloed. Well done me. Let's listen. So that's quite loud, and how I did that was I went into volume and I just did some small automation for that so that that would always be louder than the rest of it. I just wanted to make sure that was really heard, because when I put up the clip gain, it then distorted it really weirdly and it just didn't have the right noise. I'll just show you any more than what I already did. If I did it any more, it just didn't sound right. So I'm just going to undo that. Cool. There's also a small thing here. It is meant to be crazy because it's the bird making a sound, so I wanted that weird sound, so we'll just listen to that. So I wanted that clipping sound in there. Cool. So I'm going to talk through the small birds now, just so we can get a clear idea of what it was. It was also recorded by the same vocal artist. I am just going to copy this so I can put it behind it, and I'm going to drag this out fully so we can see the full clip. And I will, and that is it. So it had a lot of white noise in it too, so I also did all the digital silence in it, and that is why there's completely straight lines in between. And then I broke it all up, and that's what all of these different audio ones are underneath. So I then broke them all down and I just duplicated them with different pitch shifting. So I'm gonna undo all that so that nothing is destroyed and saved. Cool. So then we went on to each of these. They got stretched slightly. I don't think I changed. No. So the only reason they're in polyphonic is because I did the pitch shifting for this final squeaking sounds. That's the main thing. And I just wanted to have that different layers so you could feel like there was multiple birds going at once. This final layer down here, audio 6, has automation in it as well for this chanting that they do. I chose this sound in particular because it had like the right sort of like eking sound. So we then did all of this animation so it got louder as more birds joined in and then dropped off. So we're going to listen to this final little bit so we can hear it. We'll just solo all of these tracks. Sometimes I forget the keyboard shortcuts in between Mac and Windows. So, okay, now we'll play through this. Yeah, So this little laugh comes from the large bird audio. The large bird is, we gave him the brief of Heath Ledger Joker-esque laughing. So the main thing that's happened to this is I did it on a different track, and I just made it higher for it to fit in. So then we can also listen into all of these birds chattering at the beginning. So as you can hear, there's a little bit of clipping in between. It's just not great crossfading, I'm aware of that, but it doesn't take away once we have once the music is included. Okay, so let's now go on to the wings. We did 4 takes originally. The other 2 aren't in this session because I was trying to save on CPU because I use a laptop. And so these are the 2 that we ended up using. Number 3 has done a lot of editing to it compared to the other. We originally put it into varispeed, we pulled it all the way out, it got all this digital clipping, we loved it, so we then shortened it back in and it got this weird sound. And then when you combine that with Wings 2, we get the final sound, and it goes like this. So that was a water bottle that we used, and it was just being shaken and it got a weird sound. We recorded it using a Rode NT1A. All of the recordings in the studio were done with a Rode NT1A. And so that is what we got for those flying of the large bird. We wanted it to sound real creepy and evil because it was a large bird. Cool. Oh, I forgot the large bird. What I mean. So, Joker-esque, not a lot of editing apart from just cutting out all of that in-between stuff. Cool. So, now we have the bird hits. The bird hits were, we got a stool, and it had like a material top, so a bit of cushioning, and Kaylin, who I was working with, hit it with his fist, and we got a nice hit sound. We recorded this using playlists. So we did multiple takes, and we chose a final one that we liked, and that is what we've used. And I cut it up as close as I can because we wanted to get, I didn't like any tail, we wanted the hit to be nice and close. So that is what we did, what I did for that. I don't believe it has animation on it, does it? There's a little bit of animation. It gets slightly quieter as it goes on because there's less birds and so there's less noise. And for the final one, it's quiet because it's one single hit. So we needed to layer it on, and so we did multiple takes all together. And so that sounds like this when it's together. I keep forgetting to solo the track I want to listen to. So it does that, and not much else got done to that. That was about it. The pecking is next. There are 4 pecking tracks. They are all separate takes. We wanted that though. Gotta just find where they are. Cool. So they're further in this track here. This peck here that's individual is from taken in here. It's only about this far in. It's just a single peck sound that is really clear. And so I cut it out and put it here because there's an individual peck in that initial part. So the reason that we did all separate takes is just because otherwise we would have had to time align them all, and we kind of just want it to sound like chaos. It is a phone case, a silicone phone case on a phone, just being hit with fingers, kind of like a keyboard. They all got layered together to create this final sound. I'm pretty sure only pecking 3 has any time yep, it got dropped down 11 semitones. We did 12 and it just wasn't, it started glitching, so I took it back to 11 and it worked. So we are going to play this so you can hear how this sounds. So that's that sound. This is a little glitchy sound. It sounded cool. I kind of left it in to see whether we wanted to use that in the final mix. So we did all that layering and it just created the chaos that we wanted for that. Now we move on to the power line slides. This is a guitar, it's a string. We've done a slide to make this weird metal sound because power lines we believe are more metal, and we wanted to have that real creepy sound and more realistic compared to the original. I put it into polyphonic so I could just use the TCE and stretch it out. And so that just was what we did for the power line. I don't believe I did any time. I don't believe there's any. Yeah, there's no pitch shift to these. So there's just the 2 points, and I've just shortened it for the other one. That's the only difference. And then so we just did that. So we also did playlist, I'm sure, for these. Yep. So there it was multiple takes, and so I just chose the one that got the clearest sound, which you can see is there. We ended up doing playlist and we just would loop over. So we just went into the loop recording for that, just to save time in the end. So now we get to the high noise, and if I'm correct, yeah. So this is also what we used for the birds walking, I believe. It is guitar strings we're playing with again, just because we wanted a lot of metal in there, because we were believing that it was like metal like sounds, so we wanted to get that replicated into the final thing. So we'll listen to this one. Oh no. So this one is the water bottle before it got pitch shifted. So this is from the original water bottle before any of the editing happened to it. Doesn't change too much. I just stretched it to the normal sound. Cool. And it doesn't show anywhere else. Cool. So now we've got all of the different birds walking things. I am just going to solo these. Made the same mistake again. Well done, me. Okay. So we've soloed these, and it's just multiple takes because we wanted them to layer well. So we'll just stretch these out. And the main thing is it is one of the strings on the guitar. I'm pretty sure it's the E string. I don't play guitar. So the thing is the recording failed, so we can't listen to it solely. I will add that in maybe later, but it is just one string being played. I apologize for the audio problems. Not great at figuring out how to do videos. And so then there's just the single talon hits. This is just one. There was multiple takes by Kaylin, and it just went real long and crazy, and so we just did individual ones. I pitch shifted it down about 8. The only difference is I stopped at 8 because otherwise it was too much, so I would just solo them and play the single hits, which is very visible in the final video. I ended up editing them to be only the one hit because otherwise there was too many for how many talons the bird has, and seeing that there is a close-up to the bird with the talons, I just wanted to make sure that it was the same amount of sounds. As you can see now with me stretching it out, you can see how many hits there were. There was too many, so I'll just undo that so it goes back to normal. Kaylin gave me the horror track. He composed it himself, and he gave it to me as an MP3. I just added that in afterwards, which is what I will show next. The only change between the final sound and the one that is in this session is that there is that long fade at the end, which I showed at the beginning. I apologize for the different changes. I did not realize that my phone had stopped recording the audio. So that is for the birds this session. I hope that this was helpful at all to anyone that wanted to know how it was done. And that is it. Thank you. Bye.